Hi everyone and welcome to Power Plays. I'm Harry and this is my 2-point hospital room guide. Today we're going to be looking at the ward. So the ward is one of those early rooms that you build in pretty much every hospital. It is both a treatment and a diagnosis room, and you can have multiple nurses in there at any one time. I definitely recommend, depending on how many beds you've got, having 2 nurses, maybe 3, depending, as I said, depending on the size. I usually work on 5 beds, 2 nurses. So at a push, 3 nurses, 1 nurse for every 3 beds. But when I get to 5 beds, I like to have two nurses in there for sure. So I'm going to be showing you how to do the standard size room, so this the smallest that you can do, which is your 4x3. And if you just give me 1 second, I'm just going to place these down quickly just so we can talk. I'm also going to be showing you my preferred ward, which is quite a big one. So as you can see, yeah, quite a big ward size here that we're going for. So it's going to be a 4x6. Sorry guys, big room. And I'll also be showing you just a slightly smaller version for those who don't want to take up just all that size, and I'm going to be showing you a 5x4. So again, let me just put these down and then we can start talking. In fact, place the door there. Alright, so as you can see, you can start off with the smaller size ward. You can fit quite a few beds in here. My preferred is just this bigger one. I can fit 5 beds in there. I can fit 2 curtains in there, changing room, facility, and I have 2 nurses in there. So I always recommend, if you're going for a bigger ward, to have more than one curtain here. Let me find out the exact name rather than calling it a curtain. Screen, there we go. Because essentially what happens is a patient's going to walk through here. Yeah, all good at the desk, come round, get changed, go into the bed. And then once cured or once treated, diagnosed, a failed treatment, patient's going to get out of bed, go to the screen, and then leave. So you can see if you've got 5 beds, you've got 5 people all trying to queue for the screen, it can get pretty cramped in there. So I recommend having a ward with more than 1 screen. That kind of slows down that queue size, especially like here when we've got 5 beds. You could easily fit a 6th bed in here. We could just plonk one here. So if you want, you can turn this into a 6-bedder. I'm not, and the reason is because I'm going to put in some medicine cabinets. So medicine cabinets is going to help boost our treatment and diagnosis percentage by 1%, and we can fit 1 in between each bed here. So we've got 4 there, and we've got 3 on the side. We can't fit any over here just because it's too close to the screen. You could start placing them in little places around here, which we will do in a second. But first, we're going to make sure that we've got a radiator. So we can place the radiator just here. I know it's in the middle of the room, a bit in a weird and awkward place. However, what it does is it creates a nice separate divide where we'll have these patients using this curtain, these patients using this curtain. So we shouldn't have too much of an issue. What we can do now is we can get those gold stars out. That's going to increase the attractiveness of the room whilst improving the prestige. So just make sure they're dotted around quite nicely everywhere. We've got plenty of space. I like to put them just on top of the beds so they know that they're getting a gold star award worthy ward. And that's now a prestige 5 room, the highest we can get it. Now, we can start playing around with medicine cabinets at this point. It is going to start to make the room just a tiny bit cramped. You may have patients moving around a bit slowly, so I tend to just leave it how it is. But feel free to definitely get those medicine cabinets over here. You can see you can fit them, you can fit another 2 in there. If you start to put them over here as well, you can see, as long as you've still got that gap so the patient can just get into bed, they can walk through there and get into bed, and the nurse can come here. So you can see we fit in quite a few there. So as I said, we got 4 up here, another 4 there, and so we've got 11% bonus. You can fit in just a few more right over here, and as I said, it's going to start to make the room cramped, but if you want that extra percentage, then feel free to do so. So that is, in my opinion, one of the better wards. So the ideal ward. I bump it up to 2 staff, so that way we can have 1 staff, 1 nurse dealing with this side, another nurse dealing with that side. That keeps the patients kind of going in quite quickly, and a good kind of churn rate. Moving on to the minimum requirement room. We can't fit as many beds in here, but we can get 3 in with 1 screen, and that's going to be just enough. You can get away with having 1 nurse in here, and we can still get some of those bonuses by putting in some medicine cabinets. So not as many as we can in the other room, but that's understandable due to the size. And we've still got space just to fit in a radiator just here, or a small air conditioning unit, whichever your hospital requires. You could also put it slap bang in the middle, but that's going to be a bit more of a pain for patients to move in and out of. And again, as always, get those gold stars down. We've not got as much space to put them, so don't leave too much space between each one, but we can get them down just to get that prestige up of the room. There we go, and we have a prestige level 5 ward at the minimum size. So we've got 3 beds in here, so you'll be getting a decent amount of patients in, and you'll be getting them through at a decent speed, and you can serve this room with just 1 nurse. And then finally, we have a kind of a mid-sized room, but we're going to fit a lot in here. So we're going to put these beds close to each other. We're going to fit this bed just here. We're going to bring it as close to that bed as possible, and we're going to do the same here. So as you can see, let's just make sure that's tucked away in the corner. Ooh, make sure that's tucked away in the corner as much as possible. As you can see there, we have 6 beds. So actually more beds than we've got in here, and it's a smaller size. But it is just that extra bit cramped. So it is going to slow the speeds of people moving in and out. That's why I prefer to have the slightly bigger room, just to make sure that we can still have freedom of movement passing in between all the beds and all the equipment here. And what you can do now is you can get those medicine cabinets in. So we have to leave a bit more space between these two, because otherwise you can't actually get to it. And there's plenty of things that you can actually put in this space. You could put like coffee machines if you think your staff are going to have thirst issues. You can put candy dispensers in there just in case they're going to get hungry. I've never actually had any of those issues with my staff, so I actually just fill it with medicine cabinets. And finally, you can actually sneak a radiator just in there. And if you just bring it down slightly, what you'll see is if we flip to the temperature filter, it covers pretty much most of the room. So that is really space efficient. And what we can do finally now is we can get those gold stars in, so we can get the attractiveness up with the room, and we can bring that prestige up. So again, just make sure you're dotting these around. We've got plenty of space, so you don't need to worry about cramping them too much. But there we go. We have a level 5 prestige room. And if we put the attractiveness filter on, you can see everyone loves that room, everyone loves that room, everyone loves this room. We can probably move some of the gold stars just to this area here. So say if I took, not the nurse's station, but say if I just move this one, place it here, there we go. Everyone's really happy. Very attractive room and great for temperature as well. So you can see that's servicing most of the room, that's servicing most of the room, and that's definitely servicing most of the room. So if you would prefer to have, say, 6 beds in this size and you're not that fussed about the extra boost that you're going to get from the medicine cabinets, you can easily fit 6 in here. You can just stick another bed just there and you've got plenty of space. You can even tuck it a bit closer up here so you can, there we go. Can we fit a medicine cabinet in between? Yes, just there, and nice. So then we would have 5 medicine cabinets, so we get that extra 5%, and then you could probably then get away with sticking 1 here, 1 there, just to make sure that you're getting that boost that you were before. And that way you can actually have 6 beds and still be getting those boosts there that we got from the medicine cabinet. So in this room also, I would bump up the staff requirement so we can have 2 staff in there, essentially a staff serving half of the wards. And as you can see, it is going to get a bit cramped, so patients are going to be moving a bit slowly in and out of here and maybe banging into things slightly, but it's not going to be enough to cause an issue in your hospital. You're still going to be churning patients in and out of there really quick. But that's why I prefer this ward, just because it's slightly bigger and it just gives a bit more room for patients to walk around. So that is my room guide for the ward. So if you enjoyed the video, if you found it useful, make sure to drop me a like, let me know down in the comment section, and subscribe to the channel to see more content just like this. I'll catch you on the next episode, and bye for now.